Hey, how's it going, all? Welcome to another exciting episode of You Ought to Know podcast, our review of Dark Side of the Ring.
That is right, guys. Episode number 25, and we are here to deep dive into this episode of Dark Side of the Ring. Chris Colt, welcome to my nightmare. And let me tell you what, guys, once again, Dark Side of the Ring, this shit was all over the place.
It really was.
I'm telling you what, if you're, as educational purposes, all over the place. But let's kick it off. This man was born in Idaho. And, fucking A, born in Idaho, man. He was the original rock and roller professional wrestler.
That's right. Jim Cornette called him the best wrestler no one saw. Thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, and Jim Cornette also said that Ozzy was Mother Teresa next to Chris Colt. This man was a wild man.
That's a pretty bold statement right
Pretty
there.
bold statement. Basically, this throws it off where, you know, growing up, the kids would torment him because of his sexuality. They would throw rocks at him. But Dark Side, they dive right into May 9th, 1975. Mm-hmm. The first story you get in this Dark Side episode, where he's having a bad LSD trip in Phoenix, Arizona in a cage match. He's in the cage, the crowd's cheering, going crazy, and he's in that ring, and he starts seeing fucking spiders crawling over the cage and into the cage, and he's on LSD, he's on a psychedelic, he is hallucinating and tripping out.
That's not good.
No. So the promoter, Bill Anderson, was his partner, I believe, at the time, but also later on as a promoter in wrestling. Bill Anderson states that he climbs out of the ring and starts beating the shit out of all the fans. He just starts fighting everyone, grabbing people's hair. The fans are going crazy. Bill comes running out with the chair just to start whacking the fans. Crazy story, man. This guy, once again, Jim Cornette says, would have been a major, major, major star. But he basically rendered all of that because of just his own demons inside of him.
He lived a life of excess. You know, he was a person that was just over the top. When he did something, he was like balls to the wall. He was in it, you know, whether it be like, you know, they were saying drugs, you know, the drinking, whatever his personal life was or sexual life. Yeah, that's what even some of the people that they were interviewing stated that.
Absolutely. So he got a wild hair up his ass to go to San Francisco. He decided to leave Phoenix, Arizona, and he's walking down San Francisco, and he passes this woman sitting there drinking a gallon of wine or half gallon of wine, and he could just see the pain in her eyes. And then he goes into the liquor store and he sees a poster on the wall, and it is Janis Joplin. And he realizes that the lady that was outside down the street, right there on, it was on the, what was that market down there in San Francisco called? It's like the flea market down there. So he's down there at the market district and goes back and becomes friends with Janis Joplin.
Yeah.
Basically, guys, this fucking Dark Side sucked. I'm not going to lie. I'm already getting irritated just having to talk about it. He's a wrestler. He does the Hells Angels, the California Hell Angels. He becomes basically, he's the original leather daddy, man. This guy's coming out there all leathered out. Him and his partner, his lover, they were tag team partners. He was one half of the Hells Angels with them.
Ron, right?
Yep, his lover, Ron.
Yes.
Which just later, you know, ends up having a heart attack. Fucking A, you know, he has a heart attack, and this just shit's all over the place.
Yeah, it really was, because then we can go back to like him in his when he was a teenager, 17, ran away from home, took a bus to Chicago, and then had to start well, he didn't have to, but he prostituted himself to be able to afford to pay for his wrestling training.
Absolutely. Man was very controversial. Then they show another segment where it's 1968. It's Arizona local television. He burns the United States flag. He gets the whole company just basically blacklisted and banned from local TV in Arizona. He was banned in the UK. Wasn't allowed in the UK. I wonder if Kevin Sullivan got a lot of inspiration from this man.
Yeah, the look of the character.
Also, we get Jim Cornette stating, as he stated a few episodes ago, he starts coming out to Welcome to My Nightmare by Alice Cooper. And once again, another one of those guys that was very innovative coming out to music.
Yes, definitely. Let's see. He goes on to work with, I don't know if Ron had 2 heart attacks, 1 heart attack before he passed away. They made it unclear. But after he had the heart attack, then he could not wrestle with him. So then Chris Colt joined the trio with Bill Anderson and Mike Boyette. And then they kind of went on to another story about some crazy story about the 3 of them driving down the road, after an event, going from, one event to the other. And then he goes crazy and pretty much grabs both of them by the head. He's in the passenger in the back seat, grabs Mike and Bill, and then pretty much is they say to stop the car, pull the car over. Bill gets him, or Mike gets him in a headlock, chokes him out, leaves him on the side of the road. And then when Bill gets home, Chris is there waiting for him in his dining room, just like seated in his dining room with a big smile on his face. I thought that was kind of creepy. Like,
had a bad cocaine addiction, terrible meth addiction, fucking A, dude. All over the place. Then it becomes the uncut pro wrestling. Uncut, that's right. He becomes a porn star. Rock and roll. And I mean, then the director of these pornos is there on the dark side saying how great he was in front of the camera.
He was a natural.
He was a natural, baby. Come on now. I told you he's the original leather daddy. Shit's, it's a dark side of the ring. Or I don't know. It just was very interesting. Don't get me wrong. I was very interested, but I don't know.
They said he disappeared for like 20 years and then came up with the adult film. So, and then there are so many different conflicting stories about how he passed away, where he was found.
His niece says that he was in the alleyway. A good time, long-time friend of his, a wrestling historian, said he was found with a needle in his arm. Another story, just fucking stories all over the place.
Yeah.
This
episode was all over the place, so.
Was it telegram, telephone, telewrestler?
Yeah. Yeah.
My goodness, stories were all over the place. So, it was interesting. Definitely educational for the most part. I mean, his death record at the end did say he died from HIVs, right? It said AIDS.
It said he was HIV positive, but I don't know if that
had a role.
Yeah.
Maybe the drugs. So, that was this week's episode of Dark Side of the Ring, guys. Next week is going to be Chris Adams, which I think should be a pretty interesting episode. And really, that's about it. Do you have anything to say, Ref Amber?
No, that's it. Just thank you for joining us again.
Thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. My name is Otto Von Koch. That is O-double-T-Omega. And we are live. And that's about it. So, guys, we will see you next week with another review of Dark Side of the Ring. Until then, we will see you then. Yeah, bruh.